This is a Chapter 2 review, so I just want to go over a few things and point out a couple things to remind you guys. So it's always a good idea to go back and look at these notes, make sure you check anything. So writing equations, make sure you know what the is, make sure you know what difference means, quotient, product, how to write the sum of or the difference of if you need to use parentheses. And that's a common mistake, so make sure you know that part. Next thing I'm looking at are one-step equations. So really make sure you pay attention to ones that have fractions. Those are the ones that people miss most often. So look here on number 3, how I multiplied both sides by the reciprocal. It had nothing to do with the variable stays. Or pay attention to this one, what do you do when there's a negative sign? And how you multiply by that. Notice how I'm multiplying by a -4, but the x stays there. So look at those two problems. Those are ones that are commonly missed. So what to do with fractions. So multi-step equations. Make sure you know consecutive integers and you know how to use the formula. Okay, so consecutive integers are n plus 1, n plus 2. Consecutive even or odd are n plus 2, n plus 4. Make sure you can solve those. Here's an example how I added 3 of them up and it had to equal -51. Look at those things. Look at these types of problems, how you can multiply by the denominator, leave the variable term till last, cross multiply, use parentheses, things like that. Variables on each side. Make sure you look at something like this to see that they have, when they have the same area or if they have the same perimeter. So the area is this side multiplied by this side and this multiplied by this. If it were to be perimeter, it would have to be 12 plus 12 plus x plus x. So 24 plus 2x. That's the perimeter of this. Or the perimeter. And you set them equal to each other. So make sure you look at one of these examples so you can solve that. Okay, absolute value. Make sure on absolute value you know how to do your two cases. So see, I have the two cases. Remember, absolute value is distance from 0. If you see something that looks like this, absolute value of 7 is 7. Absolute value of -7 is also 7. So make sure you look at that. Do your two cases. Now, an absolute value word problem, we worked on this a little bit. If I have something like this, you're going to start off with x minus, and what's in here is going to be your goal or your midpoint. And this is going to be your variance. So if I say I carry $20 every day, but sometimes I carry 5 or more or less, that's 20 and 5. So make sure you know how to set that up. Look at an example for those. Of course, we have ratio and proportions. Make sure you can cross multiply. If you're going to set up a problem like that, units, and make sure same units in the numerator as on both. See how both of those are inches on either side of an equal sign, and then miles. So set that up. Percent of change, make sure you can do that. You know, you change divided by the original times 100. Remember that if there's a tax, that's added on to, so you find the percent and add it. If you have a commission or something, that's added to it, so make sure you know that. And just look at your literal equations. If you're not sure, then you can always use numbers to do that. So look over all your notes, see if you have any questions. You can go back, maybe look at the Edmodo quizzes. Make sure you have all your notes ready for the test.